We got together and started talking about, hey, let's look at doing something together as a family. And
I probably got an attitude, so I like my whiskeys to have an attitude.
I really liked where I worked, but it wasn't a passion.
Our lineage goes back to Grandma and Grandpa Belfour, where we found out that they were moonshining on the Belfour farm in Saskatchewan.
This is an opportunity for us to make a name for ourselves in a different realm.
I love something spicy, I love something herbaceous, I love something floral.
All of a sudden the light bulb goes on between two of us, like, hey, I think we can make whiskeys.
There's a lot of celebrity brands popping up now, and we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to just say, oh, this is, our endorsed, business. No, this is our family business, blood, sweat, and tears.
First off, the Fighting Sioux means everything to me. It's ingrained in me. I grew up only 2.5 hours from here in Carman, Manitoba, and always wanted to be a Fighting Sioux. And I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity. Gino Gasparini, John Marks, Dean Blaze, and Kerry Eads, believed in me. They gave me that opportunity with a scholarship, and then coming to training camp, and we just had a group that just was so competitive. Something I'll never forget. It was only 1 year, 86, 87. They called our team the Dream Team, 40 wins, 8 losses. I'm not sure if anybody's beat that record since, but yeah, just amazing winning the NCAA, and just feels like family here. And every time you come back to Grand Forks, you drive into town, you get goosebumps, and all those memories come back. We weren't allowed to be involved in alcohol companies during my career, but I actually wanted to start the company while I was playing. When Dane finished his career, we got together and started talking about, hey, let's look at doing something together as a family. And we were actually watching an episode of Moonshiners, and all of a sudden the light bulb goes on between two of us, like, hey, I think we can make whiskey. So we ordered a still the next day, and we started getting into learning everything we could about making bourbon and rye whiskey.
For me, it's all about the grains that are coming into the distillery, and it's everything leading up to the distillation runs. So in a sense, making the White Lightning or New Make or White Dog, if you will. If you can make White Lightning properly, if you can make it at proof and it can drink like water, you're doing something right.
Ended up going to Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Canadian Institute of Distilling in Kelowna, BC, and that's where the education process started. We wanted to learn everything we could about the business. We didn't want to be another one of those celebrities that just slapped our name on a cheap bottle and cheap whiskey and hope it did well. We want to know everything about the business.
The business was growing and growing, and when we started really getting into this, it was like, okay, I've got to make a decision. I got to choose. Am I going to continue my own career journey in banking, or am I going to join the family business?
Our lineage goes back to Grandma and Grandpa Belfour, where we found out that they were moonshining on the Belfour farm in Saskatchewan. We have an awesome photo of Grandma and Grandpa Belfour, 1920 on their honeymoon. They're all decked out in their Peaky Blinders outfits, and it's just awesome to see them.
So before we started this, I did not drink whiskey. And I was like, I'll have a vodka soda with 17 limes, please. I don't want to taste anything. I was really nervous that I was gonna, drink the neat taste of whiskey and then, make the face. We did a taste testing roundtable one time in front of some bigwigs in the whiskey industry. We all had our little cups and we were taking notes. And my brother goes, all right, Regs, you're gonna go first. So first of all, I drank it and I did not make the face. I was like, oh, I actually really like that. And so I start reading off my notes and he starts laughing. And I'm like, why are you laughing at me? And he's laughing because his notes were almost identical to mine. From then on, whenever we were creating new products and sampling, Dane and I actually write all of the tasting notes together.
Our youngest whiskey that we bottled was 18 months. Some people criticized us for that. They thought we should wait longer, but the whiskey tasted great. And we did a lot of blind taste tests with folks that were judges and taste testers, And we didn't tell them the age of the whiskey, and you know, we'd say, well, you tell us how old you think this is, and they would guess, you know, 4, 5, 6 years old. So we were pretty proud of that.
You know, there's a lot of celebrity brands popping up now, and we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to just say, oh, this is, you know, our endorsed, you know, business. No, this is our family business, blood, sweat, and tears. If we're going to put our name on something, we want it to actually taste good and be worth it. So I came on full-time September of 2019, and that was a month before we launched product in October of 2019.
You know, we have a small team. We work hard together. Everyone wears many hats. I just feel that connection. You know, it started back in the 1920s. It's a great feeling to know that we could do something as special as what's in these bottles as a family.
I probably got an attitude, so I like my whiskeys to have an attitude. And I want folks to understand that. You know, we're not going to be just like any other juice next to us on the shelf. Thanks to what Dad does with the barrels, we've tried every single toast and char variation of the barrels, and it makes a different profile of flavor in time.
We've designed our bourbon and our rye whiskeys to be on the sweet side. So we look for those caramels, butterscotches, vanillas, maple syrup, brown sugar. Those are our favorite flavors that we look for. We want it to be sipping whiskey. It's easy to drink, smooth, delicious.
For me, it starts with the quality of all of the grain and yeast strain and the equipment leading up to the distillation. Everything's clean, everything's in order. Everything is so simple. You do the same thing over and over again that it's complicated. You know, you're trying to limit variables here, and you want to create a specific identity with that white lightning. And then when that white lightning starts interacting with the barrel over time, that's where we're going to start getting those nutmegs, those heavy vanillins. We're going to start getting some really velvety viscosity out of the barrel. A barrel sitting at the top of the rack that's going through a higher temperature swing and fluctuation throughout the seasons is going to have some more burnt caramelization attitude with the right barrel setup. And then barrels that are in the middle of the stack or down at the bottom of the stack, they're going to be really giving me those lovely dark fruit peel flavor profiles and esters, and it's going to age within a smaller temperature fluctuation of a window, so it's going to give you this total different attitude. It's like one kid ends up a brunette and your other kid's a blonde, you know, that's just kind of how it works out. All of those things are variables to giving you a flavor profile, but for me, I love something spicy, I love something herbaceous, I love something floral. But Mother Nature kind of doesn't make any mistakes. Like I said, she takes you where you need to go. So I'm always a rye guy at heart, no disrespect to bourbon, but the 94 rye, that's actually one of my favorite ones to drink. 47%, and that's 94 proof. Has some lovely dark chocolate, sea salt, and caramel notes right on the nose, and it's got that earthy brown sugar tobacco body for me. And what I love about a rye whiskey is where bourbons are really sweet and neat, right at the tip of your tongue up front, edge of your gums almost, rye is going to be a polar opposite. It's going to give you a very robust finish, focusing on the outskirts of your palate and on the back of your palate. When you ingest that rye, it's going to give you that nice warm esophagus, and it's going to give you that really warm belly. The rye grain is a hot grain, ladies and gents. It is always known to be a little bit warmer than bourbon and corn, and so those peppery, spicy notes will confuse you right away, and you'll think it's too hot, but then it kind of softens up, and after about 15 to 30 seconds after you've ingested it, you give yourself a nice inhale and an exhale, and you just let yourself breathe. And you'll find that warmth is traveling back up, and it resonates in your mid-esophagus and just leaves you with this long, lingering, pepperminty, refreshing finish. And it's wonderful because it flips like a coin. The body is brown sugar and tobacco. And you're like, whoa. And then you just kind of get this soothing, mentholy, resonating heat. And you know, when it's minus 45 degrees Celsius outside where we're all from up here in Manitoba and North Dakota, how the hell else do you think we're supposed to stay warm in the middle of the winters?
That was a special project for us. You know, wanted to do something that was really interesting and really connect with the Sioux fans, my Sioux teammates, the coaches. You know, here in North Dakota, we put the Sioux coin right here. We went to the Sioux shop, and these coins were on the counter there, and I was like, "What are you guys doing with those coins? Tell me the story about them." And they used the coins for the Sioux shop. You can buy product in there, and asked them what they were doing, you know, with them in the future, and they said they had a whole pallet of it. And I said, "Hey, I think I have an idea for those coins." So it fit perfectly in our cork. The whiskey in the bottle is rye whiskey. It's 106 proof. It's barrel strength. A lot of sweetness in this product. It's like dessert. Just a wonderful product. We sent it into San Francisco to the spirits and wine competition that they have there every year, and it won double gold. So it was our first double gold. I mean, how fitting, right? When we get back here to North Dakota and we get to share with all our friends and teammates and stuff, it's just a real honor.
Oh yeah, that's gangster. That one's so easy to drink.
So we wanted to have that connection with Texas. Moved there in '97, signed with the Dallas Stars, and we won the Stanley Cup there in '99. So special place for us. You know, we had this huge pecan tree in our backyard on the ranch, so that was always stuck in the back of my mind, and we started working with Russ Karsh over at Black Swan, and you know, we asked him about pecan, and he said, "I just happen to have some pecan finished whiskey here." And what he did was he'd take some moonshine and put the pecan in there in different woods, and so we decided to do some testing with that. We started testing, and amazing product.
So real nutty aromatic presence right up front on the nose.
We loved it from the first time we tried it.
A real viscous creme brulee butterscotch body and a lovely vanilla candied smoky finish.
You can notice the pecan taste, the nutty taste in our pecan finished bourbons.
And that's just hard to beat. Like, you know, you'll see me pouring stuff in my hand and rubbing my hands a lot, and just, you know, putting my hands up to my face, rubbing it in my beard, and it all is a part of how that aromatic and that drinking experience is for me. I wanted somebody to be just enamored with this.
It just adds to that beautiful vanillas and caramels that we get out of our bourbon.
So that to me has a much more floral nose. It's got kind of like a rose gardenia aspect to it, but then the body of it, Dane always likes to call it root beer, so I always say sassafras to sound a little more elevated, but it's root beer. Still got some of those vanilla smoky flavors in it. The finish to me is smokier than the other ones. That one's 100.5 proof, so it's a little bit more dangerous. Gotta drink that one slower. But I prefer that one on a big rock because I feel like it just kind of mellows it out, makes it a little bit sweeter as it opens up. For 100.5 proof, you wouldn't really know it.
Oh man, you're gonna make me cry. Yeah, it's everything. You know, life's not easy. Life's tough. You lose a lot of things in life as you go on, but you gain a lot of things. And one thing you don't ever want to lose is your family. And that's magic. I thank my dad because he's done everything for me. I thank my sister because she's the organized one. It's so magic. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. I wouldn't be alive. I live for them. I fight for them. I even fight them for them. Even if they don't know it. To know that I'm fighting for my family, that's a fight I'll never give up. That's why we make whiskey, because we're fighting for each other. We're fighting for our lives, just like we did on the ice. It's how it was taught to me. I watch my dad every day play every game like it was his last. I might drink whiskey like every day is my last too. But that's just how I was taught. 110% all the time. It's a damn honor.